Today we're speaking with Brenda Gallagher, and she's going to discuss project management tips that you won't get in a book. So Brenda, before we start, can you provide a brief background of yourself?
Sure, I have about 20 years operational experience in transport, distribution management, and also project management. So since we're talking about project management, I've project managed the operational go live of a 42,000 square metre multi-chamber distribution centre. I've also done go lives, commissionings of 50,000 square metre distribution centres down to SAPW MISCO lives and brownfield sites.
Great. And well, let's if we dive right into the topic,
Sure.
Can you talk about some of the things that aren't covered in project management textbooks?
Sure. I mean, they cover in project management textbooks, in my opinion, about communication plans, about managing your project plan. But there's other aspects, more so the softer aspects, that they don't cover so much in a textbook about project management. The first one is getting it right. So even though there's a fixed end date in terms of a project deliverable, you still need to make sure that your team can work together, that you share similar values, and that your goals align, which is obviously about delivering that project. If you don't get that culture right, you're not going to achieve your project within the scope, in terms of time, quality, or cost. Another one is that people throw up their arms about scope creep. That isn't always a dirty word. So for an example, when I was commissioning that 42,000 square metre distribution centre, it was only supposed to be two chambers. Towards the end of the project, the client decided that they were going to add another chamber for confectionery, which was very different from a chilled 0 to 4 degrees, or a frozen, which was the minus 18. It made really strong operational sense in terms of synergies and efficiencies. And being in Queensland, where it's very humid and hot at times, it didn't make sense to put the confectionery in the ambient DC. So the scope was changed to change the increase that to include that chamber for the confectionery there. Another one is you're going to have bad days, even though you have your plan and everybody may be on the same page and you're all working together really well and achieving goals. Sometimes things aren't going to go how you expect them to, whether that be that your testing doesn't seem to go to plan, or somebody might leave the team or the project. Some days are going to be really, really hard. Another item is, and I found this particularly towards getting towards the pointy end of a project, there's going to be doubts. So people get tired, they're under pressure, and you're thinking to yourself, I'm not going to get this done on time. This is going to fail, and it can be quite tempting to see if that you can push back the project. And I think you need to take a breath and actually look at it from a logical, systematic point of view in terms of the project, rather than from that emotional or fatigued aspect. So there will be doubts, whether that's you doubting the effectiveness of the project, or somebody from outside the team questioning whether you can actually achieve this. And finally, delivering a project can be intoxicating. So it's a really exciting, high energy time when you're going live in a project, and people come out of the woodwork because they want to be a part of it. It could be for political reasons. It could be things in terms of just sharing or communicating that project. I remember I was commissioning a 5,000 square metre distribution centre, and I had very poor internet connectivity. I had brand new team members, a brand new process, and I had the communications manager from Interstate wanting me to send her photos of the site so that she could put it in the newsletter. it was totally a priority for her, but not for me. But she really wanted to be involved in the project from that point of view. So it's important to try the ball and understand your priority on a time. And for me, that's all the topics that really aren't covered in a textbook about project management.
Well, thanks, Brenda, for sharing today.
Thank you.